Hello and welcome. These are some of the things that most affected our funds in November. Geopolitical unrest, wait for central banks' announcements, and excess returns for the two largest equity funds. November was characterized by the dramatic events in Europe. The terrorist attacks in Paris shook the continent and a state of emergency was declared in Paris, while the terror level was set to high alert in many countries. The geopolitical unrest which followed the events peaked again when Turkey shot down a Russian fighter jet later in the month. However, despite the dramatic events and a strong reaction in the political arena, the stock markets remained largely unaffected by the events. November was therefore a month in which investors waited to see what the US and European central banks would do about policy rates. There was also anticipation around the outcome of the OPEC meeting coming up in December. For SKAGEN's equity funds, November was a relatively good month. Our two largest equity funds, SKAGEN Global and SKAGEN Kon-Tiki, both delivered better returns than their benchmark indices for the second month in a row. SKAGEN Focus lagged its index. Year to date, we see that both SKAGEN Global and SKAGEN Kon-Tiki are gaining on their benchmark indices. Now let's take a look at the companies that have contributed most to the fund's returns in November, both positively and negatively. For SKAGEN Global, US food producer Tyson Foods, US multinational conglomerate General Electric, and Dutch insurance and investment management group NN Groups were the three best monthly contributors to absolute performance. Last month's winner, Samsung Electronics, was the largest detractor. The company fell back a little on no major news after the exceptionally strong October performance. Lundin Mining and Sanofi were the other two main detractors. SKAGEN Kon-Tiki's top three performers in November were the Indian vehicle manufacturer Mahindra & Mahindra, Indonesian telecom company Indosat, and pharmaceutical manufacturer Richter Gedeon. For Mahindra, we are finally seeing signs that the recent sluggish volume trends are turning around. At the bottom of the performance list for the month were Samsung Electronics, the Turkish conglomerate Sabancı, and the Brazilian iron ore producer Vale. Vale is struggling with low raw material prices and was also affected by the Samarco accident, where they have 50% ownership. Omega Protein was once again at the top of SKAGEN Focus performance list. The company showed how to deliver a record quarter in style, and the share price responded accordingly. We trimmed our position down to 2.5% of the portfolio towards the end of the period. Citizens Financial and Ubiquity Networks were the other two strongest contributors to the fund's performance. Stock Spirits Group, Rentec, and South32 were the main detractors during the month. And that was a quick overview for November. We are currently preparing for our New Year's conference in January, and you can find profile interviews with the main speakers on our web pages. Thank you for watching.